Are you a Black Panther fan, and did you attend Jesse Holland's speech about his Black Panther book?
If not, have no fear. NewsWatch reporter Madison Scarpino has all the highlights up next.
Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Alexandra Morris.
And I'm Sarah Kate Calaguire.
Ole Miss alum and author who is Black Panther, Jesse Holland, spoke this afternoon at the Overby Center.
NewsWatch reporter Madison Scarpino explains what Holland told students and why he credits Ole Miss for his newfound fame.
Today at the Overby Center, Ole Miss alumni and author of the companion novel for Black Panther spoke to the university. Audience member Jennifer Sanford shares her interest in attending.
With Jesse, when I saw that he kind of wrote a little side story of the trilogy of Black Panther, I was very interested in coming and hearing him speak. What I really enjoyed most about his talk was his experience as a writer and his connection to the whole Marvel trilogy and how he got involved with that as well.
Here at the Student Media Center is where Holland began his journalism career as a writer for the Daily Mississippian.
Holland accredits Ole Miss for teaching him various forms of journalism and aiding him with his success.
It was here that I actually learned how to write, by working at the Daily Mississippian, working at the TV station, the radio station. Ole Miss had a great influence on everything I've done, especially the writing. So it's always great to come back and see the places that you worked and toiled as a college student. It brings back such great memories.
Madison Scarpino, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
You can buy Holland's book on Amazon or pre-order it on barnesandnoble.com. Wearing your heart on your sleeve? Well, that's what many students did today in recognition of Mental Health Week. Reporter Brianna Bynum joins us in the Circle live with more on how students are expressing their feelings. Brianna?
Active Minds is an organization designed to promote awareness of students' mental health, and today they partnered with Mr. and Miss Ole Miss to encourage students to express their feelings by wearing a button describing their mood.
This is a way for students that you're just walking to class that you can grab a button and kind of put it on you to say how you feel and kind of wear it on your sleeve without saying it.
Students chose from a wide range of buttons, and Fox sees this as a way for students to honestly express themselves.
A lot of times we, pass people and say how are you doing, and they say good, but that's not really what you mean.
Miss Ole Miss Savannah Smith says mental health plays a large role in our lives, and being able to acknowledge that is important.
Mental health is just as important as physical health, something that really makes up who we are as people, and I think that it's very important to really nurture that and celebrate that and just take it seriously.
Many students stopped by to grab a button, and some say this is a positive outlet to express their mood.
I think it's a good way to get students to reflect. I just woke up and was very happy, and then I'm always brave.
Some days you have good days, some days you have bad days, and I think a lot of people are afraid to express that. So having a pen saying, hey, this is kind of a stressful week for me, is a really great way to talk about things you might not normally talk about.
The Ole Miss Big Event was held last Saturday, and Miss Ole Miss Savannah Smith has been involved in the event the past 4 years. NewsWatch reporter Kinsley McLaughlin gives us an inside look at what the big event means to her.
Welcome to the 8th annual Big Event.
Savannah Smith is known around the Ole Miss campus for her involvement in many student-run organizations. In her most recent role as co-director of the Ole Miss Big Event, she reflects on what life after college will look like without the big event.
I'm really sad to be leaving the university and the big event all in the same year. It's really sad because the big event has been a part of my entire college experience. I've really loved being a part of it since freshman year.
Smith was made aware of the big event before she started her freshman year at Ole Miss.
There were only a handful of things that I really knew about before I got to the university, and the big event was one of them. I came to visit for a weekend and had a lot of my friends that were older, that were already in school here, that were going to participate in the big event, and I just knew immediately before I was even a student here that was something that I wanted to be a part of.
Smith shares her thoughts on this one-day event that brings students and the LOU community members together.
It's a really, really special day to watch people be able to serve the community and really be able to engage with one another, and I think that it's so neat because I feel like every single year with the big event you get to meet people that you never would have met before, within the university campus, but also you really get to engage with the community members.
Smith is sentimental about her involvement with the big event coming to a close.
I don't know if there's going to be a way to fill the hole that the big event has in my heart, but I'm excited to, get out in the real world and figure out how to really give back and serve in different ways.
Smith will be attending New York University for graduate school in the fall and is looking to continue her involvement in the community. Kinsey McLaughlin, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
It looks like vaping among teens and young adults is catching the eye of Oxford police. While society as a whole has declined in tobacco use, OPD wants to make people in the Oxford community aware of the increased amount of vaping among young people and the risks associated with it. These devices contain nicotine oils and different forms of cannabis, but they all contain harmful chemicals, and there has been an increase in the use of narcotic substances in these devices as well. Health risks include addiction to nicotine, harmful chemicals inhaled, which leads to a higher risk of cancer and lung problems.
Yesterday, Mississippi lawmakers approved most remaining parts of the state budget, which will begin on July 1st. Also, a proposal to keep the Medicaid program alive and running has recently entered the Senate. If approved, Mississippi would spend more than $900 million in state dollars on Medicaid in the coming year.
Today, the American Diabetes Association is promoting awareness through the annual Diabetes Alert Day. NewsWatch reporter Anna Polakovich investigates this disease and the importance of getting tested for it.
Lucy Pruitt, an Ole Miss sophomore, was diagnosed with diabetes when she was just 3 years old. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, over 29 million Americans have diabetes and 1 in 4 doesn't know they have it.
There's never going to be a perfect day for diabetes, and sometimes there aren't explanations for why you don't feel good or why your blood sugar is all out of order, but it'll get back to normal soon and you just got to keep going with it.
Diabetes Alert Day encourages the American public to go get tested for this disease. Nurse practitioner Holly Armstrong emphasizes the importance of getting tested, especially for people in a high-risk state like Mississippi.
Any advice that I would give to someone that has any possible, concerns about diabetes would be go get tested. If you have symptoms like increased thirst, hunger, dramatic weight loss, or just want to know, it's easy to go get checked.
Getting tested for diabetes is a simple process. The test includes a finger prick and a glucose reading that determine the results. This test takes less than 5 minutes.
If you've been newly diagnosed, I would say it's okay. There are resources out there, particularly family health care providers, that can help you and show you how to manage this disease. It is not debilitating and it can be managed.
1 in 3 Americans is at risk for developing type 2 diabetes. So if you think you have any symptoms, make sure to go and get yourself tested today. Anna Polakovich, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
It was a huge day for many Ole Miss football players. Sports reporter Colin Rivera has more on the story.
A relatively quiet day here at the Manning Center for the Ole Miss Pro Day, but there were individual performances that stood out. It starts off with offensive lineman Durante Bolden, who put up 35 reps on the bench press, and then defensive back A.J. Moore with his 40-yard dash. He posted a 4.39. Put that in perspective, John Ross of the Cincinnati Bengals at his NFL Combine broke the record with a 4.22. And then defensive standout Marquise Haynes, he improved on his 40-yard dash, posting a 4.56, and he said he was satisfied with his overall performance. The Ole Miss Rebels are done with their pro day and now look forward to the NFL Draft on April 26th. Reporting live from the Manning Center, Colin Rivera, NewsWatch, Ole Miss.
Find out what new question 2020 census will include up next.
We'll have the latest after the break, but first, Delia Vandeveld has your first look at the current conditions.
Hey there, Oxford, and happy Tuesday. As I'm sure you have noticed, we are experiencing some high winds, which will continue into the rest of this week. There also looks to be some chances of thunderstorms approaching soon, but luckily for us, this weekend looks to be mostly sunny. As we take a look at the current radar, you can see that the Oxford area is very clear. However, there is some rain just west of us that will move our way coming soon. Stay tuned for a full report coming up on Stormwatch.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager. Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Yes, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
You may be familiar with the movement Black Lives Matter, which was renewed after many were outraged by the death of Alton Sterling. His struggle with two white officers was publicly released by bystanders, but did not show the full encounter. Today, Baton Rouge Police Chief Officer Murphy Paul told the public that the two officers in question will not be charged for the 2016 shooting because it was justified.
We will release all information allowed by our public records laws. This will include video and audio footage. This will include car camera video footage. This will include the 911 call. This will include video footage from the S convenience store.
Repercussions still could come for the two officers as the Baton Rouge Police Department will hold disciplinary hearings this Friday to determine whether the officers' behavior was in line with the department's policy. A more recent shooting has caused protests in Sacramento, California. Stephon Clark, 22, was shot 20 times and killed by officers who believed he was holding a gun. The officers were responding to a report that a man had broken car windows and was hiding behind homes. An independent investigation is underway.
My team and I at the California Department of Justice will do everything in our power to ensure that this investigation is fair, thorough, and impartial.
The family has disputed the police account, which explains that Clark advanced towards the officers while extending his arm in front of him with an object in his hand, which they believed was a gun. The family has since hired Attorney General Benjamin Crumb to represent their case. Crumb represented the families of other African Americans fatally shot by police, including Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin. Michigan State University is under fire again. The former dean of MSU's College of Osteopathic Medicine, who was also the former boss of Larry Nassar, was charged with one felony count of misconduct in office and a misdemeanor count of fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct for his own actions between 2002 and 2018. Strample is also facing two misdemeanor charges of willful neglect of duty regarding his failure to properly oversee Nassar.
As dean of the college, Strample used his office to harass, discriminate, demean, sexually proposition, and sexually assault female students in violation of his statutory duty as a public officer.
Strample's bond was set at $25,000. If convicted for the felony misconduct charge, he could face up to 5 years in prison. In a controversial move, the Commerce Department announced yesterday that the 2020 census will include a citizenship question. The census is meant to count total population, not just U.S. citizens. It informs decisions on things like federal funding and congressional districts. President Trump's re-election campaign says making people specify their citizenship status is common sense. Critics believe the question is anti-immigrant, that would result in lower population counts and therefore less federal funding. For states with high immigration population, California and New York are now suing the administration over the move.
Official sources in China are staying silent, but there is speculation that a mystery train traveler to Beijing is North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. This is after an old-style green train arrived in Beijing yesterday, followed by a convoy. It drove from the Great Hall of the People to a state guest house that's often used by high-level foreign visitors. Kim's late father and grandfather also visited countries by train. This video from 2002 shows Kim's father, Kim Jong-il, arriving by train in Russia. Linda Brown, who is the child at the center of the historic Brown versus Board of Education case, has died. Brown died Sunday in Topeka, Kansas. She was 75 years old, according to Peaceful Rest Funeral Chapel. Decades ago, her family sued the Topeka Board of Education for blocking her enrollment at an all-white elementary school. 4 similar cases were then combined and presented to the U.S. Supreme Court as Brown versus Board of Education. The court's landmark ruling on May 17, 1954, led to the desegregation of the U.S. education system. Jeffrey Wayne, Henry, co-owner of Schlitterbahn Water Parks and Resorts, where 10-year-old Caleb Schwab was killed in Kansas City, was arrested and held without bond yesterday in Texas to face charges in connection with the boy's death. The 10-year-old was decapitated on the ride after signs of rushed construction and still was pronounced okay to open after major red flags were covered up. 13 other people were injured in the incident that occurred August of 2016. It is alleged that Henry designed the ride that the child was killed on, and since then the ride has been closed. Schwab's family was awarded with $20 million in settlements from Schlitterbahn and other companies involved last year. It appears Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg has given in to pressure from U.S. lawmakers. He will now testify at a Senate hearing on April 10th. This all comes after a Cambridge Analytica reportedly accessed information from about 50 million Facebook users without their knowledge. Zuckerberg's willingness to testify means Google CEO Sundar Pichai and Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey could be next. Senate Judiciary Chairman Chuck Grassley officially invited all of them to the hearing. Sources told CNN that Facebook is currently planning a strategy for Zuckerberg's testimony.
I am loving this warm spring weather, and I hope we get to see it continue for the rest of the week.
Me too, that's right, Alexandra, but I'm hoping this wind calms down. Delia Vandeveld will let us know how long this warm and windy weather is here to stay in her extended forecast coming up next on Storm Watch.
Fancy pants peanut butter? A big screen television? You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Don't wait. Communicate. Make your emergency plan today.
Hey there, Oxford, and welcome back to Stormwatch. It is currently 72 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. We do have some strong winds moving southeast at 15 to 20 miles per hour, and there is no chance of rain right now. As we take a look at the current satellite image, you can see that there are clouds in the Oxford area. No rain, but there is a big patch just northwest of us that will move our way soon. Taking a look at the temperatures across the map, you can see that everyone's right around the 70s, with Oxford at 72, South Haven at 72 as well, Holly Springs 74, Tupelo 75, and Corinth at 70. For the temperatures tomorrow, they will be much like today. We'll have Oxford with a high of 73, South Haven and Holly Springs at 69, Corinth at 70, and Tupelo at 75. As for the temperature tonight, we can expect a low of 45, and there is a 30% chance of some isolated thunderstorms moving our way. For tomorrow, we will see a high of 73, and it does look like there will be a strong chance of thunderstorms throughout the day. Now, as we move into the 5-day forecast, you can see that rain will continue on Thursday, but then moving into Friday and the rest of the weekend, it does look like it's going to be sunny and clear.
Thanks, Delia. It's a special $1 hot dog night for the Ole Miss baseball team. Let's see which top 25 team they'll be taking on.
And one key Ole Miss basketball recruit has decided to stay committed to the Kermit Davis era. See who it is next.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
What's happening, Rebel fans? I'm Jason Price, and this is Sports Watch. The 4th-ranked Ole Miss baseball team is warming up right now for their home game tonight against number 14 Southern Mississippi. This is a game you do not want to miss, not only because it's $1 hot dog night, but also because the number 1 Rebel pitching staff will be challenged by Southern Miss offense, which averages almost 9 runs a game. Kids also get in free tonight, so bring the youngsters for a good game and good hot dogs. First pitch is at 6:30. The Ole Miss softball game scheduled for tomorrow at Central Arkansas has been postponed due to heavy rain moving into the area. Instead, the game will be played on Thursday, April 26th. This will be part of a sort of a pit stop for the team since they will be heading from Conway to Fayetteville, Arkansas the next day for a 3-game SEC series against the Razorbacks. Ole Miss basketball recruit Zach Naylor has decided to stay committed to the Rebel squad after meeting with new coach Kermit Davis. The 6'7" center from Weatherford Junior College averaged 20 points and 9 rebounds per game last season and is expected to play forward for the Rebels. Now that Naylor is on board, Coach Davis and his staff can turn their focus to other recruits like juniors Omar Payne and Jalen Withers, who are both 4-star recruits in the top 100. Yesterday, NFL Network reported that New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. won't participate in team activities until he has a new contract. Afterwards, ESPN's Adam Schefter says he wouldn't be surprised if there was an OBJ trade on or before the NFL draft. When asked about such a trade, Giants co-owner John Mara said that the team certainly isn't shopping the All-Star, but added that no one on the team is untouchable after a 3-13 season. Will 1-3 be in NY next season? Only time will tell. And last but definitely not least, it's time for the play of the day, which is brought to you today by 76ers center Joel Embiid, who sizes up Jamal Murray down low and absolutely demolishes Paul Millsaps. Paul, just a piece of advice, when Embiid goes up, do not jump. It never ends well. Embiid takes Millsap's soul, and the Sixers take the win. That's all for sports. Be sure to follow our Twitter at NewsWatch_UM for more Ole Miss updates. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jason. Coming up, find out what new ice cream flavor Bluebell is rolling out.
Stay tuned. There's more NewsWatch when we return.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
Don't ignore the subtext. It's on us to intervene in sexual assault. Because we can. Take the pledge at itsonus.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
If you like chocolate, peanut butter, and cookie dough, then you'll love Bluebell's new flavor. Chocolate peanut butter cookie dough ice cream is now available in stores.
It's available in the half-gallon and pint sizes for a limited time. So if you are pulling an all-nighter sometime soon or need a little pick-me-up, stop by a grocery store and grab this new fan fave.
Well, I'm absolutely heading to the store to get me a gallon of that ice cream.
I know, me too. And this warm weather really makes me want to have some ice cream. But are we going to see warmer temperatures again tomorrow?
Well, you know, the temperature tomorrow will be right around the lower 70s, and I think it's going to stay that way for the rest of the week and into the weekend.
Perfect. Perfect for eating my gallon of ice cream.
Exactly. Yes, but you can sit inside because it will be raining. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate. Is it supposed to stay raining or?
It's going to rain tomorrow, and we think Thursday, but then it should clear out for the weekend.
Oh, perfect.
Thanks, Celia.
That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for tuning in to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Alexandra Morris.
Be sure to catch us here again on air at 5 and on our Facebook live stream. You can also find our show on HottyToddy.com. I'm Sarah Kate Caliguire. Thank you and good night.